Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 8th of May for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you the standout details to look out for that we can all collectively relate to, but please stay with me. I will then explore each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces in much greater detail. Now this week sees Jupiter and Pluto continue their right angle. Pluto's about power and of course is now in retrograde. Jupiter is about expansion. So when we get them at right angles, there can be a tendency to try a little bit too hard, or we may encounter somebody who's trying to enforce their will on us. And at the heart of this week's events, of course, is the energy compacted into the sign of Taurus. This is where the Sun is, which is critical, the retreating, retrograding Mercury, but also the North Node. So our values, our everyday money, our self-worth, still very much in focus. But we now have Venus in the sign of Cancer along with Mars, and that's a water sign, and they're both interacting really positively with two influences in another water sign of Pisces, and that's in the guise of Saturn and Neptune. So what can we take from this? Well, I feel that this is a week where we need to be very tuned in to how things feel. So even if we're dealing with some practicalities, very Taurus-like energy, or money, or we're grappling with something that may not necessarily be that easy due to the Mercury retrograde, there could be some snags or snares or some rethinking going on. The best way to navigate all of this is to listen to our inner guide, so our sixth sense, because when we go against that, that's when things can get a little tricky. But we also have a quarter moon in the sign of Aquarius on Thursday, where Pluto is, and that is in a square with the Sun in Taurus. So I feel one of the things that can come into this week could be some challenges around our future planning or our connections to others, where our values or the financial elements of a situation don't quite stack up in the way that we hope, which is the 11th house energy of higher expectations. So we need to keep our feet very much on the ground with this earthy energy, but tune into how things feel. Now, if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for joining us. This is very much a community. I'd be honoured if you'd subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. And do share any thoughts you have. I try to interact with each one. If you're a returning visitor, thank you so much for joining me once more. And if you would like your free daily horoscope fired to your device each morning, then please see the link below where you can subscribe. I've been writing these for about 28 years, and I think that's unusual amongst the YouTube astrologers. So Capricorn, your week commencing the 8th of May forecast sees your ruler Saturn very much at the heart of proceedings. Saturn since the 7th of March has been in the part of your scope to do with your ideas, your everyday communication, anything to do with technology, and also your relationships with neighbours and siblings. Now Saturn of course gets quite a harsh press. It can be a very cold and difficult influence in certain situations, but it has great strengths that are represented in your nature of being very hardworking, applied, systematic, and people also know generally with you that what you say is what you mean, and that part of your nature is really enhanced in a very positive way this week, because although Mercury is in a retrograde, Saturn links with Mercury in a very anchoring way, and Mercury is in the part of your chart where you can share your talents. But Venus has moved into your sector of relating, so its link with Saturn means that you can both be charming, diplomatic, understanding, you can listen well, but at the same time convey your ideas or your point of view with a degree of conviction, and other people can be impressed and take notice of what you have to say. So that's super lovely. Also, Mars is in your sector of relating passionately through to the 20th of this month. Mars is giving you perhaps a little bit more feistiness to set your boundaries, especially around your business situation, but it's linking in a very gentle way with Neptune, the planet of dreams. There could be someone who's going to capture your imagination this week with that combination, but with Venus and Saturn in the mix, I feel it also keeps things real, which is really worth having. But Saturn also links really well with the North Node, also in your 5th house. So Saturn really is giving you an opportunity to say how you feel, to mean it, to be very clear about your ideas, but also come across as being very sincere when it comes to relationship matters. Now, of course, we do have that quarter moon, which occurs towards the end of this week on Thursday. It's a 2nd house, the moon in Aquarius, linking with the sun in your 5th house. This combination can see us keen to have a flutter, to be a bit more speculative. I think when it comes to anything that's bigger, maybe a business idea or something like that, this is probably not the best lunation to work off from. I feel like it's also possible that someone could just assume of your generosity, and it could be someone you're very fond of, and that could be a bit challenging. And of course, we do have that square between Jupiter and Pluto for us all collectively that runs down the spine of this month. Jupiter for you at the moment is in house 4 through to the 16th of May. So we've got one more week, and then it's going to be moving into a truly marvellous part of your chart, the 5th house, where it will be for a year. So I just feel that this coming week, just around your home and emotional situation, whilst Pluto prepares to return to your sign on the 11th of June, it's in a retrograde now. So I just feel that if there is something that you want to achieve around your emotional life or a property matter, just have a trust in the process, and that will help you to keep working through in a systematic way the steps that you're so good at and focusing on what's essential, not getting too caught up in the big picture. So it's a very positive week on the whole in all sorts of ways, but particularly for relationships of all kinds. If you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data, of time, date and place of birth, I can produce for you your life roadmap report. This can help you to get a much more intimate understanding of the patterns that have played out in your life so far, but also seize the opportunities much more firmly. Also, my special package of 30% off, you will get your 12-month personal forecast, totally unique to you, which can give you searing insights for the time and months to come. If you don't know your time of birth, I've a new product I've developed based very much on the sun. So if you enjoy watching your sun sign videos on YouTube, these will make a lot of sense. The same package, 30% off. Please see the link below. It's been a pleasure being with you. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do like, comment or subscribe.